Warning, this is creepy for the sole purpose of entertaining your viewers. Nothing that is written can be proved, which just in case cannot deny that either. Some fans of the Ben 10 franchise wonder how the season finale might have been the end of the final series Ben 10, Omniverse, as its span was just one ordinary episode of the series. Despite this, other fans believe the franchise couldn't have ended better and the result was impressive. None of these fans, however, know what was really expected to happen in the season finale. Few people have access to this information and, as you may think, I am one of them. After much reflection, I decided to share what I know with all those interested. But this is not a story me to have access to scripts and episode snippets. At the time, Ben 10 was facing a serious audience crisis and producers were trying to find ways to prevent the franchise's fourth grade from becoming a complete failure. That's when one of the writers, who I can't reveal the name either, came up with a bold idea: change the style of the series in the season finale, making it impactful. According to this writer, the episode would have interesting things. Today I can only say that that guy was sick. By now you should realize that Ben 10, Omniverse would have an alternate ending. Me and a few co-workers were invited to watch what would be the milestone in the history of the Ben 10 franchise, and perhaps the entire CN. We entered a white room that contained a giant screen like this. The writer and other producers stepped in, slight feeling that I could see a dark image interspersed between the blinks. Something subliminal. Producers stepped in, saying that we would see something we would never forget. The screen turned on. In the first second of the episode, the image flickered several times and I had a slight feeling that I could see a dark image interspersed between the blinks. Something subliminal. I couldn't distinguish what the image was about, and today I prefer not to know. The screen cut to Bellwood at night. Two shadows moved on one wall. Suddenly they were attacked by something animalistic. We could see in the shadows the two figures being torn apart by the third, and it struck me astonished. I wanted to leave the room, but something drove me to stay. The third figure was finally revealed. He was a clown, and when I first saw him I thought it was Zombazo, but no. It was worse, and a saliva mixed with blood dripped from his mouth. Something in that blood looked extremely realistic, and I almost threw up. The clown said he was going to kill Ben 10. The scene cut to a clear day in the city. Ben, Rook and Kevin were at Mr. Ice Cream and were talking. I couldn't hear anything due to the distorted audio. Something in Mr. Ice Cream's mascot's eyes was different. Maybe even tearful. Suddenly the distorted audio starts to get louder, sounding like someone is beeping in my ears. I realized that Kevin and Ben started fighting. Not understanding anything, I see Rook using his proto tool to cut Kevin's hand. Rook, with none of his charismatic and funny personality, comments that Kevin will not be able to regenerate. Kevin's blood splashes on Ben's chips, which he thanks for the ketchup and begins to eat. By then I was in a what the fuck state with my hands raised. I almost screamed, but I had to hold on. A quick glance to the side and I could see my friend also scared, sweating cold. We maintained eye contact for a few seconds when the room was filled with a huge noise. We looked at the screen and saw the scene cut to what appeared to be panting Zed. The alien alternated running and walking, and it looked like he was sad. The scene cuts to Ben and Rook on DX Mark 10. Ben says Kevin deserved the lesson and Rook seems tearful for what he did to Kevin. They get distracted and end up running over Zed. The impact of Zed's last scene made me cry. The scene had frozen and she was staring at the screen. Zed gets hit and falls. The DX Mark 10 inexplicably flips over, causing an accident that severely injures Ben and Rook. Zed gets up and starts banging his head violently against a pole. I hear some words from a colleague in the chair behind me. What the fuck, is she killing herself? I can't take it anymore. Zed falls. The scene cuts to an angry Kevin heading towards the car where Ben and Rook are, but he is stopped by the same clown at the beginning of the episode. Ben and Rook get out of the car very injured, but still standing. Ben turns into a bug, but the alien's features look downcast. The clown throws himself at Ben and breaks one of the bug's legs. A crack fills the screen and my colleagues and I are completely unresponsive. In the background we see Kevin's silhouette beating Rook to death. Insectoid screams in pain asking the clown to stop, and a green liquid begins to come out of his body. The clown bites Insectoid's abdomen and I can hear all my colleagues feeling the revulsion I'm feeling. The Omnitrix disarms a conclusion, but I'm surprised when disarms and something shines in the clown, which reverts to Azimuth. At that moment I don't understand anything anymore. Azimuth, with one arm dripping blood, says Ben is a fool and none of it is real. I try to come to a conclusion, but I'm surprised when Azimuth says Ben was stabbed by Max on his summer vacation when he was 10 and is stuck in hell. Azimuth further says that this explains why almost no time passes between episodes and Ben realizes that he has had so many adventures in so long, but still remains 16 years old. Azimuth says the Omnitrix is nothing more than a way for Ben to turn into the worst demons in existence that will slowly consume his soul. Azimuth says that he is a demon, that Ben's time has come and that his soul must be brought to hell. Ben succumbs to his injuries and I can hardly believe it when Azimuth looks at the screen and flashes a macabre smile, saying that heroes don't exist. The scene cuts to Gwen crying in her bedroom. She is wearing black clothes. Kevin enters his room and says he tried to save Ben, implying that he is dead. Gwen calls Kevin a liar and uses his mana to cut him in half. It was surreal to see Kevin's upper body suspended as his intestines were torn open. I started throwing up and asked to leave the room. The last thing I could see was Gwen dragging Kevin's two halves to a pentagram on the floor. As soon as I left, I was notified that I could not say anything of what I saw to anyone. I was furious and started cursing everyone, even my boss, who fired me on the spot. But he confirmed that this episode would not air and that the writer of the episode would be fired. I was threatened with a lawsuit if I told anyone anything, and was told that I would lose everything I had. So I was silent until now. Therefore, I cannot reveal my name. The above report is just an incomplete excerpt from the episode. I don't care how this insane thing ends. I want to forget. But I can't stop dreaming about the episode. I'm dying about it, so I decided to bring the information to you. When I save the post on the computer, I'll be hanging myself in the living room. I don't want to be found. Believe in Ben 10.